Hoi, it's louisity again, and this video is going to be a challenge called History of My Bookshelves Challenge that I found from emmmabooks. Hoorah! So I decided to think about what challenge am I going to do next, and this is one that I've been wanting to do for a while, since 2019 when it was released, so why not go for it? I'm going to do it a little bit more of a rapid fire, and yeah, I don't really have a big setup, so it's not going to be same towards how Emma did it, so hope you still enjoy it. So let us begin. For this prompt, I'm choosing No Greater Love by Danielle Steele. Now, this is a book that I think that I inherited from my mom, and as you can see from the cover, this is about events that happened to a family after the Titanic tragedy. And also, I think this book was published around 1991, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to comment down below the correct publication date. And so obviously it's been here for about 30 years already in this house, so this would count as the oldest book in this bookshelf. In 2013, I read Committed, written by Elizabeth Gilbert. Now, Elizabeth Gilbert is the author of one of the known or popular nonfiction books called Eat, Pray, Love. Now, this one is another nonfiction of hers. I found this in a bookstore one time when I was going around Mandaluyong City, and that bookstore, that branch specifically, is already closed, unfortunately. But at the time, in 2012, oh my god, you mean 2012? 2012. Oh my gosh, I got tongue-tied. But anyway, in 2012, I saw this book and it cost roughly $2. So I was I wanted to own it, and I think it's a good deal because, it's a trade paperback, it's a huge one. Usually it's a lot more expensive here in the Philippines. And I've been wanting to read other nonfiction books by Elizabeth Gilbert. Aside from, also I haven't read a fiction book by hers, by the way. By the way, she wrote some novels too, aside from some nonfiction books. So I decided to own a copy, and this book tackles about relationships, being committed, from the title itself, being committed in relationships. You can see there's a ring. So yes, that's what the theme of this book is about, how you deal with being in a relationship. In 2014, I read The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Now, I remember reading this in December, so I remember bringing this to work, and yeah, those are some of my fond memories. And I remember because we had a Christmas break at the time, at work, so I was okay, it's a good time for me to catch up on this. So memories, those are the days. So in 2015, I finished Chicken Soup for the Soul at work because I wanted to get some inspiration in how I can feel happy at work. I decided to buy and read this book. In 2016, I read Passion by Lauren Cape. Now, this is the third book in the Fallen series, and if you've been watching my videos, this is my favorite in the series. I love the fact that it has time traveling and that you are being brought into different years or eras in the world, and I just enjoy that time traveling experience. In 2017 is when I started reading the Crazy Rich Asians series or trilogy, which is one of my most favorite book series. In 2018, I read the first book that I found because of BookTube, and that would be The Hate to Give by Angie Thomas. Now I want to share you a little bit of a story on how I decided to own this, copy. Now this is a hardcover, which I don't usually buy because I tend to prefer paperbacks because they're cheaper and that they are like lighter to hold. But the reason why I decided to buy it right away is because I knew at the time there weren't much copies of this one being sold, and I was thinking of like maybe this might get out of stock in bookstores, so I decided to buy it right away. And fortunately I also got the copy without the metal. I mean, I like this cover, like just kind of clear and plain. In 2019 I bought The Vegetarian by Hong Kong. Now I bought this copy from Singapore and I decided to buy it because the cover, I don't usually see it, so I decided to like own a copy of it. Thank you so much for my bestie Casey for buying me Yoke by Mary H.K. Ch. Just a trivia, I read The Devil in Miss Prim by Paulo Coelho, both in 2012 and in 2013. I read America's Not the Heart by Elaine Castillo when I was in Singapore, and my reading experience wasn't really good, unfortunately. My copy of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, is damaged, unfortunately, because of a certain situation that happened in the past. So you can see there's like a huge fold here. There's some like breakages right somewhere over here, if you can see. So, yeah. One time when I was in National Bookstore in SM City, BF, I bought Belong to Me by Marissa de los Santos. Now I bought this, if I'm not mistaken, about like for 50 pesos or 100 pesos, which is roughly $1 to $2. So I've been wanting to read this and I said like, okay, it's not, expensive, so I decided to buy it. And there. I mean, it was fine. I read Shine by Jessica Jung for BLouRay Book Club in May 2021, and it was kind of like my birthday present to myself because May is like my birth month. So Ray and I decided to read this one. Also, it is written by a Korean American author. I mean, Jessica Jung, who is a former member of Girls' Generation, is a Korean American person. So yeah, perfect way to like add in your, if you're doing like the Asian Readathon TBR, or like, yeah, you're doing the Asian Readathon, I should say. This is perfect for you to add in your TBR. Maybe you can squeeze it in any of the prompts. For this prompt, Emma said that it has to be somewhere outside your favorite bookstore, whether independent or maybe even like those big chain retails, and outside or somewhere that you didn't buy online. And I'm gonna have to choose for this prompt. I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. Now I bought this book in Big Bad Wolf book sale in 2020 before the pandemic and the quarantine. So it's not really a bookstore, and I did buy it online, and it was something that it's more of an event and like a convention, sorta, maybe. It was held in World Trade Center, so like, it's not a bookstore, and I didn't buy it online, so it can count for this prompt. Yay! For some reason, I keep on thinking about The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. I'll keep on thinking about that song When I Look at You by Miley Cyrus. So yeah, every time I see this book, that song plays in my head, so I associate that song to this book and vice versa. Feel free to comment down below if you've read any of these books, and if you want to do this challenge, I will link down emmmabooks' video, so feel free to check that out, and yes, you can do the challenge. If you've made it this far, leave a banana emoji, and I hope you folks like this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. I'll also put down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all. Mwah.